So in a brand new bombshell evidence breakdown, you have definitive proof that certain Aquaman starlet did not tell the truth about the metadata to two hallway pictures that they took. And not only that, this exonerates JD. That's right, it exonerates him. Why? Because the police officers that responded to that call, they were already in the building. They were there when pictures were supposedly being taken. Yeah, kind of hard to take pictures when you're doing something else, right? So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. Quickly, by the way, we have a link in the description. That's for our book. Check that out and back it. This is our way to combat industry nonsense that allowed this stuff to happen. Thank you. So to really understand what we're talking about here, you need to understand that there are only 7 pictures that supposedly showcase that JD, he was on a rampage on May 21st, 2016. Now, for the sake of this video, I'll debunk the 5 pictures that you just saw at the end. But as far as this bombshell breakdown is concerned, it's aimed at these 2 highly controversial pictures. You have both of them metadata stamped at 9:04 p.m. That means it was supposedly taken at 9:04 p.m. And if you look at the first right here, this has wine spillage supposedly on a wall. You can see it has not yet journeyed down to the base of the wall. So this is a brand new picture. I mean, that would make it controversial by itself. And also, you have wine that is yet to seep into carpet. Remember, these were supposedly taken 9:04. The incident itself, it was supposed to be over 30 minutes away. That, again, would make that controversial by itself. Plus, you have Isaac B. When he testified, he said, I saw this at 9:30, give or take 5 minutes. You know what I saw? I saw wine that hadn't ran down the walls yet. It was still running down them. I saw pullage in the carpets, just like you see here. Yeah, that's already a problem, right? Now, to make matters worse for that certain Aquaman starlet, this bombshell breakdown says, hey, wait a minute. You know those cameras and you know those clocks that they have attached? Yeah, apparently some of them, they might be off. See, already, the camera footage, it was controversial too, because the guy who allegedly takes the pictures, he arrives in the lobby of the building, 9:01 p.m. He rides up to the floor. All of this is on at 9:02 plus p.m. Gets off the elevator. He doesn't take pictures right away. He would have around a minute plus to take those pictures. Instead, he goes to that certain Aquaman starlet and sees them. Right behind them, you have the police arrive. The police, we always assumed, arrived 9:04. They ride the elevator up. They arrive at 9:05. Well, according to this breakdown here, those clocks, they may well be off. Quote, hallway photos were taken during officers' attendance. That's right. If the clocks were off, that meant the officers, they would have been on scene. So they would have seen these. Now look at this breakdown here. So this analysis gives proof that the officers, I'm just going to call them S and H, were at the penthouse level over 5 minutes before the photos of the hallway spillage and splash were taken. Stills taken from the footage of the surveillance cameras at the Eastern Columbia building show that the clocks in the footage at the reception desk, you have the entrance foyer, and the entrance forecourt, they all show the exact same time. The clocks shown in the footage for both the mezzanine level and the car vestibules also show the exact same time for each other, but they are 14 seconds ahead of the reception desk clock. Now, your problem comes in with the clock in the elevator. That's what we've been timing with. That clock, it's shown as 6 minutes and 20 seconds ahead of the reception desk area. And I'm going to break this down with pictures, by the way. In summary, All of the above camera clocks show the same time or a time within 14 seconds of each other, with the exception of the elevator clock, which is running up to 6 minutes and 20 seconds faster than the other clocks. So if the other clocks are more accurate, and again, you have all of these other clocks showing the exact same time, what that would mean is that officers S and H were at the penthouse level over 5 minutes before the time, according to the metadata for that picture, at which the photos of the hallway wine splash and spillage were taken. So what that's telling you again is either the officers, they were already there, they would have witnessed these things being taken, or that metadata, well, there's a problem with it. So here's your evidence. So the NGN, contradictory evidence. In their closing submissions in the UK trial, and that's going to be used here, it's the same stuff being used, NGN included 2 photographs of the visiting card left by the officers, on which one of the officers had written a note and also a time of 9:16 p.m. You can see this note here. First set of officers, S and H, the business cards timed at 9:16 p.m. So you can see their note on that. However, the elevator footage shows that the officers leaving the penthouse level at 9:19 p.m. So if you look at this picture right here, that's showing them leaving at a different time, right? This would be a time of 9:13 p.m. on the other surveillance cameras and 3 minutes before the time written on the visiting card. And the forecourt footage, that also shows the officers having left the building at 9:14 p.m., 2 minutes before they had supposedly written that note. Clearly, the time on the card needs to be examined for any tampering, as its writing style and ink color needs to be checked against the written note. NGN also states in their closing submissions that it is JD's position that the elevator footage shows the quote-unquote accurate time, yet they gave no evidence or indications as to when JD made this assertion, and I can find no evidence of such in the court testimonies or transcripts. In short, it is implausible that a single clock running well over 6 minutes faster than 5 other clocks would be accurate time, and more so when the other 5 clocks all gave the same time or a time within 14 seconds of each other. So you have the footage clock times here. So below, 10 footage stills would accurately demonstrate the aforementioned time discrepancies between the clocks shown and the respective footage. So if you look at this would be your reception area, so you can see the clock here, versus the elevator and what it's showing. Now you have elevator, that would be Jerry on the front foot. You have the mezzanine, you have your timestamps here. Like I said, when you go through all of the timestamps and you compare them, you can see all of these, they're showing a specific time, except for that, they're not lined up. Doesn't that say something is wrong? Now what that means, again, 9:04 p.m., according to the metadata on your device, that would have meant the people, they were in the building over 5 minutes again. You have your reception area, you have your entrance foyer, you have entrance foyer right here with the entrance forecourt as the officer starts to push on the door. So you have when they arrive, that actually shows it. When the officers actually arrive, accurate times can be established for phone records of any calls that were seen being made or ended with the surveillance footage. However, there are also records of the LAPD communications that might establish the same. According to entries in the LAPD incident recall log, the officers arrived at the Eastern Columbia building at 20:57. You can see that right here. I had previously taken this as the time at which they parked their squad car about a block away, he notes. Now, with your entrance forecourt, it is confirmed that by the time given at the forecourt footage showing that the officers arrived at 57:32, this is just 8 seconds different from the time recorded on the incident recall log. Then your elevator. The officers exit the elevator at the penthouse level 21:05, according to the elevator footage. This, however, would be at at exactly 20:59 on the clock in the reception desk camera. Now below, these are the photographs taken 21:04 and are of the wine spillage and splash immediately around Penthouse 1. Thereby, both photographs were taken over 5 minutes after the officers arrived at the penthouse level, and very likely at the time they were allegedly standing immediately outside of Penthouse 1, speaking with a certain Aquaman starlet, Josh Pennington and Raquel Pennington. Now remember, outside of those two exterior shots, you only have two interior shots remaining. You have one of a glass jar that has been knocked askew. It didn't damage anything around it, by the way. And this glass jar, it doesn't get damaged either. In fact, when they go to sell the home, this has been placed back where it belongs, so someone hitting it supposedly with a wine bottle doesn't damage it. You have a wicker basket that has hit the floor with a lot of foodstuffs. None of that gets damaged either. You can see in the body cam footage, all of those food things, they remain. They've been put back. And the wicker basket, again, it's reused when they're selling things too. You have 2 pitchers of wine spillage. None of these hit any big items. You don't have any damage to anything like a cart here. You even have a rug pulled up, so this doesn't damage it as well. And the only thing that remains is a single solitary glass of wine. There's the base where it's been broken off. There's a piece of glass where it remains. Yeah, when you break all of that down and you look at this scene of a so-called crime, yeah, you have to think that's it then. That's it. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, let me know what you think and check out our project. We have a link in the description. That's our way of combating industry nonsense and noise. They let it happen. Well, hey, shelve them. Go to something new. And thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Please share this everywhere too. And until next time, we will see you soon.